Hey guys, it's Steve, Different Chick Farm and Orchard. I hope y'all having a great day today. Ours started out cold in the 20s today. That's a little bit burr, cold fingertips when you're outside working. I've been out and helped Tiffany set up for a local farmers market we do this morning. It's called a winter Christmas market, and we do three I think in December, 3 in November, 1 in January, 1 in February, 1 in March, maybe 1 in April. And so she's down there this morning. She's the one freezing. I'm here making hot sauce. And I thought I'd bring y'all along for the journey today and show you what we're working with. Now, what I'm making today it's a new recipe for me. And this will be a fiery ginger. Hopefully it turns out well. You'll find out with me. But this one's going to have, turn you around and show you. So we're going to have red bell peppers in this one. And that's a half a pound. And we're going to have a pound of orange habaneros, seeds and all. And we will have a pound of green jalapenos, seeds and all. Now we'll destem these. We'll destem those. I've already gutted and destemmed the bell peppers. I don't want the core of the pepper and all the seeds in there for the bell pepper. It's not necessary at all. And then we're going to be using some red onions in this, and then distilled vinegar, ginger. And this will be our fresh homemade, homegrown ginger powder, and sea salt, black pepper, turmeric, some lemon juice. And I'm debating on whether I want apple in it. We're going to find out when we get to that point. I'm debating. Apple adds a nice little flavor, and the ginger and the apple goes good together. So some of the things we will use: clean rag, our Ninja blender, may or may not need the food processor, and we usually use these cups to grind stuff up a little bit finer. I'll be using the cast iron skillets to roast this stuff in the oven. And of course my cutting board there with our old logo. And then some measuring cups and measuring spoons. I will need other ingredients like the pink Himalayan sea salt and vinegar and so forth that we'll pull out as we're ready. Because I've got a small workstation. I try to contain myself to this counter here. So got to do what I got to do. So I'm going to get to cutting up these onions and getting this stuff ready to go in the oven. I will bring you back when we go to stick it in the oven so you can see what we're doing. All right. Okay, guys, let's just stare at my hands for a few minutes here. I have got my onions, my red onions, and my bell peppers ready to go. So now we're going to destem these habaneros. Now, the habaneros are not going to be de-seeded. I like the seeds in my hot sauce. I like the way it looks. There's a few peppers that can be bitter, and so if it's a pepper that can be real bitter and it's not necessary for the flavor, I will de-seed sometimes. But usually I'm looking for all the heat I can get, and these peppers have capsaicin on the seeds. So you can see the chunks I'm cutting these up in. So the capsaicin helps keep the heat up, of course. Capsaicin, if you don't know, is what our body sometimes translates as pain when we're eating hot stuff. And so I'm wanting this sauce to be kind of hot. I want the flavor of the green habanero in here. And I want the sweetness of the red bell pepper. And the heat of the habanero. Now, if I had had red habaneros, I would have probably went with a red in this. Because I'm looking for more of a darker red sauce on this. The roasting will make it darker too, by the way. So Oh, piece of a jalapeno down. Won't hurt. That won't mess the recipe up very much at all. Just lost one piece. That'll go to the chickens. So, alright, we're going to finish up this last couple of jalapenos here. And then we're going to put these already in the oven and let them roast, because this will take longer to roast than the habaneros will. The habaneros will roast down real quick because they're a thin wall pepper. And so I'm going to step away from the camera a second. I don't have somebody to hold the camera for me. I already got my oven preheated to 375 degrees. And now that is in there. Now I have to de-stem all of these habaneros. So we're going to drop the stems over here. Now see, we got a bad spot on that one. I'll have to cut that off, so I'll lay that one to the side. This is we're making the last push on our hot sauce for the year. So if you like our hot sauce, be sure to buy you some, because there's not going to be much more until next pepper season. Sales have been great. We love that. We love the customers enjoying it. So we're selling a lot more hot sauce than what we expected, which is awesome. I really thank you guys. I cannot thank you enough for your hot sauce purchases. It makes a big difference in our little small farm. Peppers, whether you know it or not, are around, I'd have to check my numbers, but around 60% of what we do. Now, that being said, it's not that we sell them all as fresh peppers. We do sell a lot as fresh peppers. We sell them local. We ship them. We dehydrate and use them in our seasonings. We use some of the dehydrated powder and flakes in some of our hot sauces. I'll be using some powder in some of these hot sauces I've got coming up, just not in this one right here. I wouldn't want to do a hot sauce with all pepper powder. You get a lot of texture difference that way. But we'll be using a base of habaneros and some bell peppers. Maybe some jalapenos in one or two of them. And we'll use pepper powder from our super hots to kick that up. Everybody likes a little kick in their stuff. Now we do everything from mild to, as I say, melt your face. So we do everything from our mildest sauce that we do currently is an ancho poblano, which is very mild. We do that with half green poblanos, so unripe, and half red ripe poblanos. Makes for a beautiful sauce. And it's got a lot of other ingredients in it too. I won't share the recipe because it's kind of a private thing for our business. If you buy a bottle, the ingredients are on it, just not the amounts. Just like this. I told you what I'm using pepper-wise in this, but I'm not telling you the amount of seasonings and so forth that we're using. And also, if you're making your own at home, you need to make it to your taste, not to my taste. My taste is going to be, I would say, a little one-sided. Some people would be a lot one-sided, but I like hot sauce, period. So my taste will only be a little bit one-sided because I like a lot of different varieties. Everything from mild to melt your face, so mild to wild. And we'll put a little bit of oil in the bottom of this habanero skillet so this cast iron doesn't stick. I'm going to cut that bad spot off this hab. It's not bad. One bad spot. Let's get some oil. You can use whatever you want. This will be olive oil. We sometimes would use lard that we would render down from ourselves from hog fat. So, all right. So these will roast in the oven. And I'll probably have to pull the habaneros out a little sooner than the rest of them. Now you can smoke these on the grill. I'm just not looking for a smoky sauce right now. Okay guys, I hope you can see this. I've got some beautiful roasted habaneros. This skillet was over full, but after they've roasted down, we got about half the size. So we are going to add those to our Ninja blender. Now you can use whatever blender you've got. We bought this Ninja a few years ago. Now I'm adding these and the oil. So there'll be trace amounts of olive oil in this. And the olive oil will give it a creaminess, which is very desirable. Now, if I put more olive oil in it, it would be even more creamy. But I don't think we're going for that on this one. Now here is our jalapenos and onions. Now they're not roasted nearly as thoroughly as the habaneros, but we have got a tenderness to them now, which is what we were looking for. This cast iron skillet's a little heavy to hold at this angle, but I'm doing what I can. Oh, dropped a couple. All right. Luckily, they landed on a sterile surface instead of in the floor. All of them smell so good. I wish y'all could smell these roasted onions. Hey guys, and the key to this is roasting it. Now, I've already got it just brings out the flavors. I've already got my we didn't use an apple cider. I usually use apple cider. I've already got my distilled vinegar. I'm going to add just a little bit of it to this. And that also has my lemon juice in it also. So we're going to hit this a couple of times. So now we got it pulled down a little bit. Look at that steam coming off them hot roasted vegetables. You don't want to leave this sitting on there. It can build up pressure. Now, here are my seasonings. I've already got them measured out. Here is our home grown and ground ginger. Oh, wonderful. Unfortunately, we're out of our garlic at this point. So this is organic garlic we bought, and this is organic ginger we grew. Organic turmeric, pink Himalayan sea salt, and some black pepper. So let's see if we can do this without making too much of a mess. We want to get all of these seasonings in there. Don't want to waste any of them. This is what's going to bring out the extra flavor we're looking for in this sauce. Now, like I told you already, this is a new recipe for us. So, I may have to modify this. This is just what I've thought about off the top of my head. Color is not coming out exactly what I wanted it to be, but that won't kill it. Just won't be as pretty as I was aiming for. We're definitely going to need probably more vinegar than what I originally estimated for this recipe. That is 2 cups, and I got a feeling we're going to end up needing 3. Get that baby up on high there a little bit. I got my timer going. Stop. Had to stop that timer. So we're going to get, because it's definitely too thick. Got to remember this is going to cook down too while it's on the stove top. So we're going to add another cup. I got a feeling it's going to take 2 cups, but I don't want to overdo it, which is going to work out perfect because I like doing a blender full or 2 blenders full so I get enough volume to work with. Eventually I like to have 3 blenders to work with. Yep, definitely still too thick. So we're going to end up with having to divide this. So there's just another cup. And that is going to finish off the blender. So I will have to divide this into 2 batches because this is still not going to be thin enough. And I'll bring y'all back when we get ready to cook. Okay guys, we have got the sauce on the stove. It's already been cooking. It's been brought up to a boil and it has been simmering way longer than it needs to be. So we are ready to bottle. Now I have my bottles in the stove. Now we are at 185. This way we can bottle these things at a safe temperature, and I will not be able to show you that because not enough hands. So I'm going to get to bottling. I'll bring you back in the end. Alright guys, we are finishing off the last of it here. Now, we will invert these like this. I will put them in the box. The reason for inverting is to make sure that the last bit of the top of that bottle is sterilized. Let's see if we got enough for another bottle here. Well, it's going to be close. We're going to try. Now this will obviously thicken as it cools. Any partial bottles just end up being mine. Oh, easy. It's going to be close.
Yeah, you don't get a partial bottle.
Nope. I actually will pour just a tad bit of that back out. I like a little head space in the bottle. Okay,